Hello viewers, welcome to our presentation of the Boston molasses tank explosion. Me, along with Claire and Giovan, will be diving deeper into the things that went wrong and the fateful decisions that contributed to this disaster. In one of the most bizarre tragedies, which took the lives of 21 people and injured hundreds, the Boston molasses tank explosion still stands to show the consequences of negligence and improper engineering decisions. The incident happened in January of 1919 in the north end of Boston, Massachusetts, in the industrial area near the harbor. The tank was owned by Purity Distilling Company, which is a subsidiary of United States Industrial Alcohols, USIA for short. The tank was used for storing molasses. The tank was built without any standard building code by an USIA treasurer with no prior engineering or construction knowledge under a very tight schedule, making it a recipe for disaster from the first day of operation. While the negligence of USIA during the construction and maintenance of the tank was a major contributor, other factors like weather and material selection played a role as well in what would be an incident that helped standardize strict building codes for the construction of industrial storage facilities across the United States. News reports from the time report that the molasses released from the tank formed a 15-feet wave which traveled at the speed of 35 miles per hour throughout the surrounding neighborhood. It smashed railroad cars, lifted buildings off their foundations, and bent girders of a nearby elevated railroad track. After the initial wave had died out, a pool of molasses about 4 feet deep extended for 300 feet around the tank. People and horses that were caught by the wave fought to escape, but only sank further into the sticky liquid. The molasses had also become thicker due to increased viscosity after being exposed to the relatively colder air outside. This greatly affected the rescue operation, as it was impossible to get to those who needed help due to the heavy and sticky nature of the fluid. In total, 21 people died in the disaster, with around 150 people being injured, and damages of around $100 million were reported. The cleanup process took 4 months, and even then, traces of molasses could be found for years to come. The smell of molasses remained for decades a distinctive atmosphere of Boston. It is said that one can still smell the molasses on a hot summer day in Boston Harbor. The incident was followed by massive legal ramifications, as around 120 separate cases were filed against USIA and its subsidiary in what would become the first ever class action lawsuit to be filed in Boston. While attempts were made to underplay the negligence in construction of the tank, the truth was evident that the tank was not structurally sound. Even though the trial took 3 months, the investigation pointed all fingers at USIA for negligent construction and mismanagement. In recent studies using modern metallurgy, the structural weaknesses and the engineering failure has been debunked, and we know about the failure in more detail, which will be discussed in the next section. The disaster occurred on January 11, 1919, on a warm winter day. The people of Boston were enjoying the warmth of the day after a cold Boston December. 2 days before, a shipment of 600,000 gallons of molasses from the Caribbean was added to the tank. Around midday on January 11th, the molasses storage tank burst with a long rumbling sound and a noise like a machine gun as the rivets popped out of the steel walls. People did not know how to react or what to make of the sound, and the initial wave of molasses trampled people in the vicinity of the tank. We carried out an experiment to visualize the wave using a small cardboard tank to represent the molasses tank. The cardboard tank was filled with corn syrup, and the wave of corn syrup is similar to the wave from the actual tank.
Just tell me when.
Right now?
Okay. Oh, that was boring.
Well, it's pretty anticlimactic.
window so the world can see your nice white clothes.